Let me introduce you to reject inference through step-by-step example. I'll explain you that how things changed when you introduce a score. We'll understand the situation where there was no score, then you developed a score, and how things changed after the introduction of score. After doing this module, you'll exactly know that what is reject inference, when do you need it, and why do you need it. So let's take a look at the scenario. In Jan 2009, a bank started to give personal loan, and bank applied certain policy criteria like no loan to less than 18-year-old, no loan to unemployed, etc. Roughly in 3 years time, let's say in June 2012, you have all those guys who have taken loan in Jan 2009, you have their 3 years, 6 months of performance. Jan 2010, 1 year, Jan 2011, 2 year, Jan 2012, 3 year, and by June 2012, you have their 3 years, 6 months of performance. Somebody who has taken loan in February 2009, you have their 3 years, 5 months of performance. So you know, anybody who has paid you completely, all those are good guys. Those who have defaulted or became severely delinquent in between, these are the guys who are bad guys. So let's call them bad, rest of them good. Now obviously you can develop a model. You have sizable population Jan to June 2009, whoever have been given loan, how they have performed by June 2012, and you can develop a model. And you're going to assume that these policy criteria are going to apply as it is. Now let's take a look at model statistics. Model looks like this. Now the current bad rate is 6196 out of 60,874, 10.2%. If you apply a cutoff score at 245, which means anybody scoring more than 245 will get the loan and less than that will get rejected, what will happen? You'll actually end up not giving loan to these 12,183 guys, these two groups. But you'll also get rid of 3,443 bad loans. If you look at here, the cumulative bad rate is 56%. 3,443 divided by 12,183 gives you 56% bad rate. And whatever you are approving, which will be population from here to here, or I should say 60,874 minus 12,183, if you assume that everything in the future will remain very much like this and you will get population very much like this rate, where in each score and you have population like this, you will actually have 48,691 accounts, 60,874 minus 12,183, and you will have 6,196 minus 3,443, that is 2,753 bad loans. That will give you a bad rate of 5.7%. Now if you look at, by just not extending loan to 20% of the folks, if your bad rate goes down from 10.2 to 5.7%, which is roughly 45% decrease, which is a big thing. So now you decided to apply this population, this model. So how things will change after the model? Earlier application, you are applying policy exclusion and everybody was eligible for the loan. But now what is happening? You have application, policy exclusion. This is the through the door population where you need to apply a score. In our case, we'll call it TTD population, through the door population, because here you'll be applying a score. You'll reject loan if the score is less than 244. You'll approve loan if it is 245 plus. Now look at, you started using this score from July 2012. So what will happen? After 3 years, you have July 2012 to September 2012, whoever has been given loan. In October 2015, obviously you have 3 years of their performance. You are applying, what has happened? You applied policy exclusion. These are through the door population. Somebody scored less than 244, you rejected. Somebody scored 245 plus, you accepted the loan. Not necessarily that everybody whom you will approve the loan, they will take it up. Sometimes people go for some other bank, or probably they have applied somewhere and they have already taken loan, so they do not take loan. And some other folks will take the loan. Those who have taken the loan, by September 15, you'll call them good if at all they paid and they never became severely delinquent in between. You didn't make any collection call or anything, so you're calling them good, bad otherwise. Now if you look at in this whole base, in this whole through the door population, you have known good and bad only for this part of the population who have taken loan. You don't know good and bad of anything here. You actually rejected all of them. You rejected here all of them, and these guys didn't take the loan. So you don't know that how they would have performed if they would have taken the loan. Now, let's understand what is happening with this base where you have known good and bad. The statistics looks like this. So if you look at, initially we thought it should rank order 12.4, 8.2, 6.4, 5.3, 4.7. So it was supposed to continuously go down. But what is happening really? It is going down. This is the red line is the actual 14.8, 13.2, 11, and then 12. It has increased. And then 10.9, which is almost like, I should say, very much similar to this particular case. So I should say rank ordering is actually not happening at 4th place. It's just breaking. And bad rate is also little more than what we initially thought. You look at 14.8, 13.2, 11.0. So it's really little more than what we thought. We are thinking here it's 12.4. What we got is 14.8. 8.2, what we got is 13.2. So it is the time to redevelop the model. Now one point I want to mention to you, it is just one of the many ways by which we choose to redevelop a model. So you decided based on these criteria that because it's not rank ordering and the bad rate is actually little more than what we thought, you decided to develop a model. So what is happening now? If you look at to develop model, you need to know the base which has become good or bad. This is your through the door population, and in reality model is expected to apply here. Now if you look at here, you are expecting as many good, you didn't get that many good. In fact, some of the good that were supposed to come didn't come here, and you got little more bad than what you thought initially. It means that because you are not getting as many good as you thought, might be some goods are going into the rejected population. So you have the point that I'm trying to say, that as accepted population is not similar to what we thought, we suspect that some goods are getting unnecessarily rejected, and the whole idea is that can we develop a model so that we can get more good and less bad. All those green, all those good who are going here, can we get it here, and probably can get rid of some of the bad. But the problem is that you don't know the good bad of this population. But if at all you can do something like this, what will happen? Your whole idea is that can we develop a model with little more redefined score, so that if you select a cutoff that okay, I'm not going to extend loan to those guys who are in the first 2 decile, you get the accepted population, that 80% of the population will have little more good and little less bad. Why? Because if you look at by 2 decile, right now you are rejecting 40.1% of the bad. In this case, you'll reject 58.2% of the bad. So obviously, the rejected population rarely contain any good applicant. That's what you want, and you accept little more good. But the problem is that you are supposed to apply score here, and for this portion you have known good and bad, and for this portion you don't know how they would have performed good and bad. And mind it, the score is supposed to apply here. Here it is supposed to do the differentiation, and for this population only for part of them they are good or bad. For rest of the part you have no idea that they are good or bad. And if at all you want to develop a score, obviously you like to know the past performance so that your score is more more refined, and all those greens, all those good who are here probably can come here, and little more bad that we are going can go here. And what will happen that way? Your overall bad rate will go down. But for this population, as we have known the good bad only for the part of the population, you have to infer good and bad for this particular population. And that's what is actually reject inference. So let me give you formal definition of reject inference. It is all about inferring good and bad about rejected population or the part of the approved population which didn't finally came on book, which didn't finally became your customer. It is very useful in application scoring scenario because most often than not, you'll rarely have unscored base. If you join anywhere, you'll find that some score is already operational and you have to deal with this situation every time. In fact, at times you might need it even for behavioral scoring where you develop a score but you decide to work only in selected part of the population. So that's what is all about reject inference. Now let me talk about how do you do reject inference.